So squeeze.
Yes.
Mercedes Gallego, and she's going to pronounce her own name for us. Mm-hmm. Okay? She's an award-winning journalist who was born and raised in Spain.
Right.
She has lived abroad as a foreign correspondent for the last 2 decades. Mercedes currently works in New York for El Correo. She's the bureau chief for the 13 syndicated newspapers in the Vocento Media Group, which is a Spanish-language newspaper. She's also a frequent guest on Channel New York 1 Noticias, where she comments on current affairs. Mercedes is with us today. She's going to discuss her own immigration. Mercedes, where is she? How are you? Hello.
Hello there, Mercedes. How are you?
So now I want you to know, I didn't even explain. I looked at her website. Okay, she was an embedded reporter, okay, in the invasion of Iraq from the United States. She has gone to Kosovo to witness the atrocities of the war in Kosovo. She is a war reporter as a woman, and now a green card holder here in the United States, correct?
Well, yes, more or less.
More or less. All right. So why don't you tell us your story? You've been working. I was about to say. Okay, you've been working in America since 1999. What kind of visa did you come here on?
I came with an I visa that is for foreign media. It allows you to work here for a foreign company. I still not perceiving any money from an American company. My income comes from Spain.
Correct. So when you're a foreign reporter, you get an I visa and you work here as long as you're being employed by a foreign company in Spain. So you've been living here since 1999. Here I saw you met Hillary Clinton. You interviewed her. Yeah. So what made you end up every 5 years you were renewing your I visa? Tell us a little bit about your career and then how you ended up getting your green card.
Well, the I visa is also a multiple entries visa because as a journalist, we come and go very often in and outside of the country. And I have a colleague and a close friend that one time that she was actually coming from vacation from the Eastern Island in Chile, she had a stopover in Miami. And when they stopped her in immigration in Miami and they started questioning what kind of visa she had and how long she had been living here.
And this was another journalist also on an I visa.
That is correct.
Right.
A journalist from Spain that happens to be also a close friend.
Uh-huh. So what happened to her at the airport?
Well, they started questioning her visa and they said that her visa doesn't allow her to live here, that it only allows her to come for a few days, cover a story, and leave.
Right.
Which is not true. It's most of us, we get the visa for 5 years, and we live here, and we're constantly going to the White House, the State Department. Everybody knows what is our situation. This is the correct visa. But
what you're describing is, unfortunately, and I hear this story all the time as an immigration attorney, okay, is you are beholden to an immigration officer at the airport. You're beholden to, did he have too much coffee, too little coffee? There are no constitutional rights when you come in at the airport until you actually come through the border. The Constitution only starts after they let you in.
Exactly. I remember seeing a sign in the border between Seattle and Vancouver. And it was, your rights stop here.
Correct.
It was shocking.
Correct.
But you don't have any rights at the airport. And you are completely at the mercy of the immigration officer.
So then I guess when all of this happens and you heard these stories, you decided to get your green card. You went, I assume, you went as an EB1, somebody of extraordinary ability?
That is right. That's the kind of visa that the kind of green card that I have received.
So now you have a green card and you're living here in the United States. What do you think about what's going on right now with all of the Trump and the Republicans wanting to kick out immigrants, wanting to kick out Latinas? You are Hispanic, you are a woman, you have extraordinary ability. What do you think about all of this?
Well, I think, Brad, that you were quite right. It's something we know about Donald Trump is that he's completely unpredictable. He's using the Dreamers as a bargain ship. And I don't think his intention is to deport all these kids, but many are already on their way out. And it's going to depend on what is coming out. It's very unfortunate to use real people and destroying lives as a bargaining ship for something else you want to do.
Well, I don't know if you watched the beginning of our show, but Squeeze and I had a little debate for about 2 minutes. He said there's no way that Trump is going to kick out all of these dreamers. And I
did.
That's
why I say you were right on that you can't predict what Trump is going to do.
You can't predict what he's going to do. And I think they're not going to come to, my 2 cents is, what is my 2 cents worth? 2 cents, I guess. My 2 cents is that they're not going to come to an immigration deal. Trump is going to start to kick out dreamers, and then the Democrats are going to be under pressure from their base to pass a bill for dreamers and give Trump exactly what he wants. That's my 2 cents on what's going to eventually happen. So why I always say to everybody out there, take care of your immigration situation now, because we don't know after the deal happens what, people's immigration, what they're going to be able to do, what you're going to be able to file, and what's going to happen to everybody. So
I think that's a very wise advice.
Yeah.
This is what I tell everybody, that things are, I don't think things are going to get better here. It's going to be harder. And you can see every time there is a terrorist attack, depending on what's the situation of the accused terrorist, that kind of visa gets to end.
Correct. It's amazing here in the United States that if it's a foreigner who shoots people, is a terrorist, which obviously he should be called or she should be called, and we have a big problem with immigration. But if it's an American who shoots people, well, you can't control that, unfortunately, and we can't do anything, and guns get in the hands of wrong people. It's amazing what happens in, depending on who the actual shooter is and how they label him, especially the Republicans and Trump or her.
It's a very different treatment. If
Yes.
you don't call terrorists if they're born in the U.S.
Correct. Even though they are. The person who killed more people than anybody was the guy in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
He's a terrorist. He killed 50 people.
And when Trump talks about him, he's unfortunately somebody that have a lot of problems.
Yeah. So you've been around the world. Okay, I'm reading here. Mexico, we've seen pictures. Mexico, Afghanistan, Iraq. You've been embedded with the Marines in Iraq. Haiti, Cuba, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras. All of the countries that Trump called S-holes, and then even more. Okay? What do you have to say about traveling around the world? What do you see in terms of the commonality of everybody? Obviously, they're not S-holes.
No, and actually, I think we are all personally focused on becoming happy people. And this is what I see all around the world, that the happier the people is, and the less stressed out they are, the nicer they are. And in many of those shitholes places, they're nicer people. You go to Haiti, and they couldn't be nicer, despite living in the poorest country of the Western Hemisphere. And so I think in the Western countries, we have to control our levels of stress to be happy and to learn from those undeveloped countries.
I read something in your pre-interview that I thought was very interesting, Squeeze, which we don't say enough on our show. And you said this in your pre-interview to Jill, which I read, which is that what everybody is the son or daughter of an immigrant at some point. Even Donald Trump, you mentioned, came from Scottish background. His grandparents or great-grandparents immigrated here. My great-grandparents immigrated here. It takes a lot to immigrate to America, to give up everything that you have in another country, come here with nothing, be treated as a second-class citizen, and then try to make a living. Aren't those people we really want, the hardest working people from around the world who want to give up everything and come here and try to make it?
By definition, they come here to work hard and to pursue a better life. So by definition, this is hardworking people. Is the kind of people we should want in our society.
All right. So you're an award-winning journalist. You've been all over the world. You have chosen to live here in America. You've won multiple awards. You got your green card through extraordinary ability. What's your American dream?
My American dream is to have freedom to purchase, to pursue whatever project I want. And I mean, labor freedom. I think when I came to this country, the market was, the job market was so hot that I was constantly having calls asking, well, you know, we need a producer here at CNN. Don't you know anybody? But you don't hear that anymore. There is not that many jobs going around, and people become a slave for their job because they want to keep health insurance,
Right.
let's say.
Right.
But not because
that's why everybody loves working for the Brad and Squeeze show. They get health insurance and a paycheck every week. Love it. All right. Mercedes, we got to get going, but before we go,
Got a couple of questions.
Squeeze has a couple of
See
questions.
that nobody let me in. You know, I was just
Go in, Squeeze.
I was just, you know,
Go, Squeeze, stop
throwing some
complaining,
manners
go
in, you
go
know,
in,
and
go
just
in.
wait until everybody asks all
Go
the
in,
questions.
Squeeze.
You know,
Go for it.
See, I like Mercedes. I like hearing the interesting part of your life, because I'm sitting here and I'm reading all of this and I'm saying, you truly, genuinely must have had a very interesting life. What would you say? I've got two questions. What would you say was the toughest thing about getting your green card?
I think the toughest thing when you get a green card on extraordinary abilities, you need to reach out to a lot of people to have them say that you're wonderful and you're extraordinary. And
No, what was the toughest thing for you? What was the toughest
yeah,
thing
that's
for you?
very humbling. That's very humbling to have to go to these people and say, well, do you want to write me a letter saying how wonderful I am?
Okay.
And by the way, everybody has to do that in some respect. So if you're getting sponsored by a family member, it's humbling to go ask somebody for an affidavit of support. Give me your tax return so you can show you can support me. Or you have to go to another friend or family member to do that. Or if you're getting sponsored in a job, you have to ask your employer to sponsor you and fill out forms and give your tax returns, or ask former employers for prior references of experience. So I'm glad that you brought up that issue, because we don't bring that issue up enough. Sure. How humbling it is to go to other people and ask for their support.
What was your most exciting, interesting journalistic experience?
You know, I choose to keep the experiences where I learn from the people, and as you can see, I've been in many countries, but I was the one that I treasure the most is Haiti, because I think it has the most wonderful.
Say that, yeah.
They're really. They have such a strong spirit despite all that they go through, and they can be so sweet that you can't imagine somebody that is going through the toughest things you can ever imagine, apocalyptic earthquakes, piles of dead people around you all over, and they hold no resentment toward life or toward others. And that was such a learning experience for me that I keep it close to my heart.
And very humbling and very touching, I'm quite sure. Well, thank you so much for your humanitarian efforts.
Yes.
Okay, and everything that you have done for everyone just about all over the world. And of course, you know, representing not just being a journalist, but a very strong, proud woman, you know, doing journalism. And we need more women like you in journalism. So thanks for being on the show. 1
second before we go, I have a little something to do, Squeeze.
Sure.
Okay? Because you're a journalist, right, Mercedes?
Correct.
And I get so fed up over Trump with this fake news stuff. Okay? Because, you know, there's a big difference between fake news, which you see sometimes on social media, and then legitimate news people who, for the most part, get things right, but everybody is human. Sometimes people get something wrong. It doesn't mean it's fake and they're, you know, putting out stuff that purposely is not true. But we have a couple of things here that we found on social media, if you want to play along with us here very quickly. Okay?
Okay.
And we're going to play fake news or not fake news. Okay.
Right.
So we
It's
so
finally right.
so first fake news story, because we always find these news stories we like always start our show with. Okay. I don't even know the answers to this because it's been covered up. I'm gonna play as well. Okay. Was Trump booed at the World Economic Forum in Davos for taking a swipe at nasty fake press? Fake
Yes,
news?
he was.
Fake. He was? Was he?
That's right.
Squeeze?
He was.
I don't know.
He was good.
Squeeze, you got to play.
I don't know. I don't want to say something that is that so.
You don't know.
I don't know.
How
that
would I
one.
know? Where's the answers to these, Jill? Oh, it's. I have
He
no.
was
True.
good.
Oh, I see. I see. True. It is very true.
Okay.
Okay, Squeeze, you got to play along here. Now I see where the answers are. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Did a Saudi prince offer 200 camels to the Trump family to spend a night with Ivanka Trump? Kind of like Robert Redford asking $1 million to sleep with Demi Moore. Is that true or not true? 200 camels to spend the night with Ivanka Trump.
I don't think so.
You do not
That
think so.
sounds like it's
That is
false.
absolutely false, but it is going around the internet. That is false news. Number three. Did an elderly woman train her cats, 65 of them, to steal from her neighbors and get arrested? True or not true? Old woman trains cats to steal stuff from her neighbors, and she got arrested for theft.
Sounds like.
Is that true or not true?
Sounds like baloney.
Baloney or true, Mercedes? What do you think?
Well, I don't know that one. That seems like a very local story, but I would say baloney.
It is absolutely false, but it is also going around. You can't get arrested because your cat stole something from your neighbor. That's ridiculous. All right, in Georgia, okay, did amateur divers on the off the coast of Georgia find a long-lost nuclear warhead? True or false? That is also going around the internet. I just looked at the answer. Squeeze?
I think it's true.
You think it is true? They say that a tourist from Canada made a surprising discovery while scuba diving. They found a nuclear warhead that was undetonated from the United States Air Force from 50 years ago. And there is the picture that is going around the internet. True or false, Mercedes?
It's probably not a nuclear warhead.
You say false. It is false. That is
that's probably
absolutely
not a
not
nuclear
true.
warhead, yeah.
That is absolutely not true. There's no diver that found a nuclear warhead.
Yeah, I know why I know it's false, because I wouldn't know if that was true.
Okay. All right. So we have a couple more left. Okay. How much time we have here? Okay, we got a couple more left. Squeeze. Okay. Did the NFL reject a veterans group ad for the Super Bowl? They denied advertising space to veterans groups that declined to alter the language about standing for the national anthem. That they were protesting the players not standing for the national anthem. Is that true or false? An NFL spokesman, Brian McCarthy, said that the advertisement last week by the third-party publisher of the game said, "Please stand." That was the entire message of the ad. It was just 30 seconds, said, "Please stand, veterans group, for the national anthem." Was that advertisement rejected by the NFL? True or false?
Don't know. I do say false.
Squeeze?
I don't know. I'll go with true.
Squeeze? It is true. They absolutely rejected that ad. What was that? I don't know. All right, last one. We got to go, Mercedes. All right, last one. A 15-ton prehistoric shark was captured off the coast of Pakistan. A giant prehistoric shark, previously thought to be extinct for more than 20 million years, was captured off of the coast of Pakistan. True or false? Do we have a picture of this prehistoric shark?
False.
I would say false.
False. 15 ton.
Let's
False.
see if we have the picture.
15 tons. 1 ton is what? 2,000.
That's like
pounds?
a submarine.
Yeah. So that's.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
false.
That's false. All right. There is the picture of the shark. That is absolutely not true.
And that's not 15 ton. Either.
I don't know. That's what the story said. All right. Mercedes, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on, sharing your American dream.
Thanks
She
a lot,
came here
Mercedes.
on a visa, extraordinary ability from Spain, has traveled the world, an award-winning journalist. Thank you for sharing your American
Thank
dream
you
with
so
us.
much for being on
Thank
the
you
show.
guys for helping other people to get it right. That's very important to have an advice from professionals like you. Free
Thank
advice.
you.
They
Thank
can't
Keep being a
complain.
true humanitarian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.